Okay, good morning and welcome to the Daily Double Mishnah Yoma, Mishnah Yomi. We're starting the last parak of Maasros Maasros. Parak Hey, Mishnah is Aleph and Beis. Mishnah Aleph says, "Okir shesolim mitoch shalo, v'natal soch shalo potter." Plants. We talked about in the first parak about Onas HaMaasros when it reaches, it's ripe enough to be called like it's fully grown. So then it's called Onas HaMaasros, and you can only snack from it. You can't eat a full meal from it. However, if it's grown a little bit, which is not a gila on Maasros, you can take it out and you can replant it, and it's still potter. It's still potter because it never reached the full growth. Another din, even though we established before that when you do a mekach, you do a business transaction with fruits, even though they're not processed yet, and they wouldn't roll up in our bias, they didn't come into your house yet, still mekach is koveya, right? Because as long as it's outside of the factory, it's koveya, because now you're doing a transaction with it, so therefore it's like it's commercial property over here, so you have to give first to the Kohanim, Levim, and Aniyim. Laka l'shloach l'chaveiro potter. Let's say someone took from his field shesilin, right? The Rav says it's talking about young plants where they're not didn't reach owners and maestros, and you want to send them to your friend. It's still potter over there because didn't reach my owners and maestros. You could even eat a full meal. Rabbi Yelazar ben Yazar Yomer Miyesh Kiyotza Behen Nimkar Moshe Karelu Chayavim. Ben Yaakov has a chumrah. He says that if people actually would sell such a thing in the marketplace, these young plants, I guess it was delicacy to eat them very young, or they have a good spice in your tafshil when you put it in your stew or whatever like that. So therefore they're chayav because some people, that's the minhag of the places to use it. But we don't pass those on Yaakov. But daito yitzchak, no one uses these things, so therefore they're potter. Beza oker lefev snonos bitok shalo, v'nosin l'soch shalo l'zera chayav neishen garnon. Let's say you rip out. Lefed is relish. If you know what relish is, Heinz makes a type of relish. It's basically like types of pickles and sauerkraut. That you put together. You would put it on top of a hot dog or something like that. I would say that's either pickles or maybe some sauerkraut. I don't exactly know what sauerkraut is. We'll look that up. Snonos or radishes, mitoch shalonos, so shalozera. You uprooted them and you want to place them back in a different place in your field. In order to take the seeds from them, chayim neishu garnon. Because if you have something fully grown and then you replant it, you potter from Shumas and Maasros. So therefore, if you're about to replant it, so you're going to potter from Shumas and Maasros. So therefore, if that's your intentions, then once you uproot it already, it's chayim Shumas and Maasros, because it's never going to reach a place where it's dingur malach though. Because before it's dingur malach, it's going to be replanted. It'll potter forever in Shumas and Maasros. So therefore, it's chayiv before you replant it, and therefore, if you do an avera by replanting, that will be replanted. It'll be potter in Shumas and Maasros, but it is chayiv in Shumas and Maasros. And you're mavatel, they're over the mitzvah of balta acher, not giving Shumas and Maasros. But tzaldim mishesh rishu ba'aliyah atarum ulatame. Some people apparently like to plant something in their houses. You see this, people have plants in their house. They take some dirt. Apparently there was a minute to place dirt in your attic. And to grow onions there. Tarum ulatame, right? As long as they're still in the ground. So we learn, it says in the Torah that ochlin, food, can't be makabel tumah unless it comes in contact with liquid, but it has to be uprooted from the ground. If it's still attached to the ground, even if it comes in contact with liquid, it's tahar. It's not hokshal l'kabel tumah. Here also, it's considered part of the ground. It's hokshal l'kabel tumah. Nafal alei mapoles ve'hem magulim. However, let's say the house suddenly collapsed, right? And now the roof collapsed, right? So now they're in the open air. Harei looking at tum basada. It's no longer like they're planted in a house. It's like they're planted in the field, outside in the field, and therefore, it's considered to be not just like the din before, where it's considered mechuber lakarka only in terms of hukshar lazriya, but other things considered talish. It's considered like talish. Here it's even for sure it's considered mechuber lakarka. It's out in the open. So therefore, even on Shabbos, if you're tolish, if you uproot it from the ground, you're chayav for being tolish from the ground, from separating it from the ground. And it has the regular din of growing in the field. In the house, if it's grown in your attic, it only has a din of attached to the ground in terms of hukshal kabal tuma. However, other dinim, it's not considered mechubal karka, it's considered tolish. Whatever dinim you want to talk about. You want to talk about mecher being koveya and things like that, right? Like the first din, like the din in Mishnah Aleph, that if you sell the plants in your attic, it's not considered mechubar for that, and it's chayiv in Shumas Maasros That'll be the conclusion of today's share. I hope you enjoyed. See you in Iyam Tzion coming up next.